BINBUSTER, where I buy, watch, review budget bit movies for you. Today, I have one that comes from the year 2022, so it's not that old. It stars Winona, Ryder, and Dermot Mulroney. It's called Gone in the Night. Upon arriving at a remote cabin for a getaway, a woman and her boyfriend discover another couple already staying there. They decide to share the rental for one night, but the boyfriend's disappearance sparks a race for answers. Yes, that's right. We're talking about Gone in the Night. I found this in my $5 bin at my job. I work at a home improvement store, so check your home improvement stores for movies like this. So it starts Winona Ryder. So as you guys can see right there's the box on the front with Winona Ryder, and on the back right there, all the 4 different cast members. We have Owen, Teague, we have Brianne, and we got Dermot Mulroney and John Gallagher Jr. So we have 4 main characters in this movie, and that's what we have in this movie. Just 4 characters we have to, 5 characters that we have to worry about. We have Winona Ryder, who's Kath. I assume that's short for Catherine. They don't really say. They just call her Kath. There's her boyfriend, Max, played by John Gallagher Jr. There's the other couple. There's Greta and Al, who they meet in a mysterious way. And then there's Dermot Mulroney's character. So, Dermot Mulroney, who's Nicholas. And there is one friend in here, Yvonne Sinette Jones, who's Laurel. So, we get a cast of about 6 characters in here. Laurel's a friend of Kath's, who has some speaking lines. So that's the only reason why she's considered on the main cast list. So, let's get into this movie. What happens is, we start off, we're driving down the road. Spotify's playing, and we hear different music in the car. It opens up with Winona Ryder and John Gallagher Jr. sitting in the car. Catherine and Max sitting in the car. What happens here, then, is something great. There's a thing. He looks out the window, smells the bark, and his hat flies off. So he has her stop the car, so he could go get his hat. It's 1 in 1,000. It's a special hat. Being a collector, you guys know what that means. But you guys see, it's starting to set a tone. They get to this cabin, and when they get there, there's this guy opens up the door. He's wearing a hood and like a parka. Weird, I know, right? And when he gets there, turns out, or what we are led to believe in the first part of this movie, is that this cabin was double booked. Kath and Max were going away for a weekend away, and the cabin was double booked. The couple decides, hey, we can share it for the night, so they start playing a game. The game happens. Kath goes, I'm getting tired. I'm going to bed. She goes to bed around 10:30 at night. They mention that in the movie because that's important. When she wakes up in the morning, all 3 of the other people in the house, Max, Al, and Greta, Al and Greta are the other couple. They're all missing. So she runs through the woods looking for her. She stumbles upon Al, who's like crying, and goes, they were making out. Like he caught Greta and Max making out, and they just ran off. So Kath is devastated. So she goes back home and going about her job as a botanist. You see, her and Max met in school. She was a teacher. He was a student. Oh, no, not that way. It was an adult class. It was a hydroponics. But it was dealing with plants and vegetables and not having to deal with weed like Max thought originally. So that's that in there. So Max is kind of a slacker. Is kind of a slacker in all shapes and everything. In all regards. Max is a slacker. So upon this reveal that they're missing, she goes to search for it. So she calls the number of the guy who rented the cabin, Nicholas Barlow, played by Dermot Mulroney. He ended up talking with her. They end up getting to know each other. Almost starts a relationship. But as this is happening, we are getting flashbacks of what led up to these disappearance throughout the film. Well, like you would play a part of them, of her and Nicholas, of Kath and Nicholas in the real world. Then you go backwards to Al, Greta, Max meeting up at a bar, meeting up at a liquor store because Kath and Max ran out of wine at a party they were throwing with some of Kath's friends who Max felt kind of stuffy with. So he goes out there, he meets those two. They get 2 drinks. They tell him about about some party, a concert that they're going to, and to meet him up at this cabin because that's the halfway point. They'll go the other way in the morning. So Max brings Kath under the assumption that he rented this cabin. To come find out that throughout the background scenes and throughout the other scenes that we see in here that lead up to the disappearance, that we get actually a story of something that's really weird. I don't want to really say it, but one character in here needs blood transfusion. Turns out Max is the suitable host for that blood. Same blood. So it's a whole story about, hey, we're using Max as a cow to just try and harvest the blood. Because it's perfect. It will cure this person who's dealing with this. Come to find out that this person doesn't want to grow old, doesn't want to see doesn't want to see the same thing happen to their dad that's happening to them, to the point where they knock Max out, they kidnap him, they put him in this what is those shipping crates? They put him in one of those big boat shipping crates, and he's hooked up to IVs or doing blood transfusions. His blood's going into somebody else who's doing blood transfusions in the house. And it all is this convoluted thing where the final showdown's Kath and all the other characters besides Laurel, who's Kath's best friend, who's back at home. So it's Kath, Nicholas, Max, Kath, Nicholas, Alan, Greta, all there. Greta gets knocked out. Kath grabs Max, undoes the IV, throws him on the ground. Nicholas and Al, who were trying to do blood transfusions to stay young, Greta was in on it. So this is kind of like a big, necessary cult. They call it a cult, but it's some guy who just doesn't want to grow old. And I don't know the science. I don't know how realistic this is. I highly doubt you can do this with a transfusion this way. But I know people get blood transfusions all the time because of accidents, surgeries, stuff like that. But doing it to this extent, I don't know how real that is. But she locks him in the shipping crate. The police show up. All's fine and dandy. Then she goes back into that. She's about ready to leave. She goes back into the cabin where this all began. She opens up a window and it just fades there. So we don't know. It was a second story of the cabin. So we don't know if she jumped out the window or what. Or she's just getting a breath of fresh air in a new life. Because this is the tranquil scenery that she wants. So maybe she's enjoying that there. We don't really get any way of knowing this at the end of the movie. So, like I said, the whole science of this, I don't know if it's real or not. So, what do I give this movie? And you know what? I was at the edge of my seat. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I'm giving it 3 stars. It's getting 3 out of 5. Gone in the Night is getting 3 stars for me. So if you guys are a fan of Winona Ryder and think she's a great actress, she gets better with age, honestly. I mean, I'm not just talking her looks either. I'm talking she is a great actress, very underrated as well. So if you're a fan of Winona Ryder and want a great thriller, check out Gone in the Night. Maybe you could be out where I determined where this movie was towards the end. Maybe you could figure out what was going on. So if you find this in your $5 bin, pick it up. It's worth the $5 to watch. And like I always say to close, it's gone in the night. You better get this and make it a movie night before it's gone in the night. I'll see you guys here next time. Bye.